Hey everyone, this is Larry with Today I Feel Like. It is iPhone season and there are new iPhones out. The iPhone 16s, the iPhone 16 Pluses, the iPhone 16 Pros, and the iPhone 16 Pro Maxes. And I've had some people ask me if they should get the new iPhone. So I went ahead and bought one so that you don't have to, and I don't think you should. So let me jump into it and tell you why. All right, here we go. All right, let's go ahead and jump right into this. And one of the main reasons that a lot of people were looking at the new iPhone 16s and 16 Pros and Pro Maxes is because of Apple AI. And Apple had been promoting the whole Apple AI thing for a while. Even when they did their keynote address, they called it Glow Time. It was supposed to be about a new Siri and all the other great AI features in here. They have the new A18 Pro chip in there that's supposed to be set up and ready to go for AI. Unfortunately, they launched this phone without Apple AI ready. There is no Apple Intelligence ready as of the launch of this phone and of the making of this video. Apple AI is not there. So if you're looking to buy this phone because you want Apple Intelligence, just don't, because you're going to be terribly disappointed because it doesn't exist on the phone yet. Now, the next thing I want to mention about this phone and why you don't need this phone, and most people do not need this phone, is that this is the iPhone 16 Pro Max. This is a 1 terabyte version, and this phone costs $1,600. That's right, you heard me correctly, $1,599. When you add tax on there, it's going to be even more. It's over $1,600 when you include the tax. Now, to be perfectly honest with you, this phone does the same thing that every other iPhone does. It looks the exact same as the iPhone 15 Pro Max, 14 Pro Max, 13 Pro Max, the 12. It looks exactly the same. You're not going to really be able to tell the difference unless you really look closely and scrutinize where there's some different buttons or something. But otherwise, if someone just holds the back of the phone up, it looks exactly the same. And for the most part, the operating system is exactly the same. They're all going to run iOS 18, and you're going to have pretty much the same user experience if you have an iPhone 12 or an iPhone 16 Pro Max. It's really not going to make much of a difference. Where you really are going to see the difference is with the cameras. And this is where I have an issue with this. The cameras are great, no doubt. They are fantastic when it comes to video. Photos, so far from what I've seen, photos are really good too. But if you're going to spend $1,600 so that you can have good cameras, you might as well just go ahead and buy yourself a real camera. Get yourself a Sony a6700 or a Fuji X-T5 or a Canon, whatever Canon offers around that price range. Just go get yourself a real camera. Because $1,600 for a smartphone camera is just too much. It's just too much to spend and not worth it. Now, one of the biggest problems that I have with iPhones and Apple in general is this whole anti-consumerism thing that they have going, from the eSIMs to all of their walled garden apps like FaceTime and iMessage. It's just not user-friendly. And now, if you know everybody that you talk to and they're all inside the walled garden, it could seem like a really nice experience that everybody's inside the same walled garden, or really the same Apple prison. Because if you know anybody on the outside, they make it very, very difficult to do simple things like do a video call or send high-resolution photos or videos. Even though some of that has gotten much better with RCS chat, some of the stuff that still should be very easy is just not easy to do if you're talking or communicating with someone outside of the Apple walled garden or ecosystem. I don't think it's the ecosystem. A true ecosystem is really what Google has developed with all of their various apps, from like Google Voice and Google Docs and Google, Google Meet. all the other various Google apps that work cross-platform, an ecosystem is supposed to work well with everything that's around it. It's not supposed to just exclude everything. It's supposed to work well and integrate with what's around it. And that's what Google does and Google apps do. Apple apps, on the other hand, exclude everything and everybody around it unless they have an Apple device. Now, the next reason why you should not get the iPhone is that you're not going to get the latest and the greatest. Now, you might get the latest and greatest iPhone, but you're not going to get the latest and greatest technology. Apple just doesn't really innovate anymore. Or, I don't know if they ever really did. Apple's not really an innovation company. They're more like a refinement company. They take what other people do and they sort of refine those features and try to make them better. And there's a long-standing joke with people who have Android. They say Apple today equals Android 5 years ago, because that's kind of where things have been. Like, Apple now allows you to do customizations on your screen, your home screen and all that stuff, and they added widgets and all that. These are things that Android devices have had for years and years and years. Now, one thing that really bothers me with Apple, especially with the Pros and Pro Maxes, is that one of the reasons why people buy these phones are because of the cameras. And Apple should be pushing this phone and the cameras to the very limit. And with the processing power inside of here and the resolution, we can get 8K. This camera, the camera's in here and the phone can support 8K video, except they don't give it to us. I don't know why they don't give us 8K 30, 8K 24 frames a second. I don't understand why we can't have that when the phone can clearly support it. Now, there's one last thing that I want to mention that I just don't like about the iPhones and with Apple is this whole artificial scarcity thing. They do it every single year. They come out with, they announce the new iPhones, and then you have to go on at the crack of dawn or the first thing in the morning so that you can place your pre-order so that you can get your phones. Now, this year was a little bit different because from my understanding, from what I was seeing, they just weren't selling like they used to. This time, people went on and they placed their orders, and then after a couple of hours or by the end of the day, they were getting, messages that were saying, or, when they go log in, they would say, oh, you won't be able to get this device until, October 20th or November something. It was, people were getting dates that were 3, 4, 6, 8 weeks out for particular variants of the phone. But then like a day or so later, what happened is a lot of those people canceled those pre-orders, I imagine, or just decided not to get the phones because all of a sudden people were like, hey, I can walk into a store and buy one, or I can go online and get the whatever color and whatever capacity I want to get. That's just a rarity. That's a rare thing, because most of the time Apple does this stupid artificial scarcity thing where they make it seem as if you can't get the device because it's going to sell out really quickly. And that's really just not the case. And that annoys the bejesus out of me. I don't understand why they don't just market the phones and sell them in such a way that if 2 million people want to buy them on the first day in your store, then they have 2 million people buying the phones. If it's 50 million, then it's 50 million. Just make sure you have enough phones for all the people that want to buy their phones on launch day. Well, there you go. Those are just a few reasons that I just don't like Apple and the iPhone and don't think it's right for most people. I think if you want a good flagship phone, go look at the various Android models. You can go get something like a OnePlus 12 or a Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra. You can go get yourself a Pixel Fold or a Pixel 9 Pro XL. I mean, you can get some really nice phones out there at a much more affordable price that's going to give you much more functionality. It's going to have a true open ecosystem that's going to work cross-platform. There's just a lot out there to offer if you're willing to step outside of the Apple prison or walled garden, as they say. So there you go. Anyways, if you are interested in this phone, I will leave a link to it down below in the video description so that you can check it out. I'll also leave links to my Amazon page and my social media contacts so you can reach me elsewhere. And I hope you enjoyed seeing this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. And please subscribe to this channel. And follow me on Instagram. And I am Larry with Today I Feel Like. Thanks for coming back to see me. Come back and see me soon. And until next time, love, peace, and hair grease. Peace.